뜨거워지는 바람 맨눈을 스쳐뜨던 밤처럼 옅어지는 그날의 작은 기억이 잊혀져 매일 눈을 뜰 때면 흐려져 오늘도 눈을 감으면 또 사라져버릴 듯한 어제를 그려가 떨어지는 그림자 사이에 맴도는 향기가 조용히 너를 부러워 선명했던 날들도 어느새 다 지워버린 채 차갑게 잊혀져만 가 그렸던 날들만 바람에 날아가고 되어무른 듯 추억만 공이 남은 채 지새 하늘 위 피어진 구름처럼 사라지는 나의 후회도 잊어버린 채 생일 피어나다 작은 겨울에 지난 날처럼 길고 멀었던 그리운 계절을 불러 봄바람이 스치듯 떠난 밤 내 안의 계절을 다 팔아버린 밤 맘에는 어떤 소리가 들려 깊어지는 실루엣 사이로 눈부신 바람이 또다시 너를 부러워 선명했던 날들도 이제는 다 잊어버린 채 조용히 흩어져만 가 괴로운 날들만 바람에 날아가고 되어오른 듯 추억만 공이 남은 채 짙은 새벽 끝 옅어진 달빛처럼 흐려지는 기억은 슬픔도 잊어버린 채 생일 지어와 가장 짙은 여름 지난 날처럼 길고 멀었던 그리운 계절을 불러 하얗고 하얗던 내 계절아 끝이 없고 그치지 않는 비에도 밝아오니까 그 시간이 두려워도 난 괜찮아 잿빛 사이 푸른 이 비가 선명하게 모든 계절을 다시 찾아갈 테니 흐렸던 날들만 바람에 날아가고 되어무른 듯 추억만 공이 남은 채 푸른 바람과 스쳐간 계절마저 잊어가는 시간은 어제도 잊어버린 채 내게만 낡아 슬피고 내 사라지는 날처럼 길고 멀었던 그리운 계절 어디로 피어가 꽃잎과 푸른 하늘이 되어무른 듯 후회만 남아버린 채 기쁜 마음도 슬픔도 이젠 되돌릴 수 없는 날들로 조용히 사라져만 가 생일 피었던 아름다운 하루가 지난 날처럼 길고 어둡던 그리운 계절을 불러
Good evening and welcome back to my dwarven fortress of Filled Tombs, otherwise known as Esmulrakust, where it has just occurred to me that that's a rather soft piece of music to introduce to help we're being besieged by the elves. Because, yes, we have suffered a second elven ambush, and unlike the goblins, who are civilised and turn up and announce that they're going to attempt to besiege you and then give you a chance to get everyone indoors before any trouble occurs, the elves just turn up and start attacking. This has been made extra complicated by the fact that this bridge, which stops visiting wagons from falling into the large pile of lovely weapon traps down there, is not yet linked up to a lever because I had just replaced it. And so it's a little bit difficult to get the elves into the weapon traps, which means that we don't really want to open the front door just yet. And we've closed it after letting a few elves in and then killing them, in order to give us the time to correctly hook up this bridge. But having done that, the elves are now not hanging around outside the front door and instead are chasing the at least 3 dwarves who are currently outside. On the other hand, when I say elves, there are also some humans involved as well, but they are culturally elves. They have turned up with wooden swords and cloth clothing and nothing else. But wooden swords are still quite enough to cause serious injury to unarmoured dwarves, and probably humans can hit a bit harder. A way in which they're not like elves, of course, is humans can die of old age, but you would have thought that that would lead to the humans being more reckless in battle, which is probably not helpful for us. I'm slightly worried about after seeing a dwarf's dead body, which suggests that you've killed a dwarf. I don't remember any of my dwarves dying recently. Oh well. Oh no, of course there's still some corpse lying around from ages ago, I think, that still needs tidying up. I can't remember which one. Possibly it's actually a zombie corpse. Right, finished my cold tea. Right, so yes, I think we can now watch see whether the minecart tracks with trundling minecart, which runs our clock, causes any trouble for these humans. We have just watched an animated Batman episode in which there was an incredibly dangerous clock, so I think the fact that our clock just consists of a minecart is perhaps relatively normal.
By dwarf standards, this is positively, bringing over with health and safety culture.
Sadly, I fear that the humans are going to get off the tracks before the minecart arrives, yes. And also there is a flying arrow here which is about to hit one of my dwarves, probably. Unless, of course, the dwarf dodges. Well done. Oh. Oh, no, well done again. I think you might have had to miss that one twice by virtue of it trying to escape in the ecliptic, but nonetheless, you seem to have got away with it. So yes, they're not about to be run down by the minecart, sadly. The minecart is moving, isn't it? Yes, they've just gone the wrong way. Oh well. So yes, those three dwarves may be in some trouble. We'll see. I don't think I can do much with them. I mean, I could try to get them into one of the bolt holes, but they're kind of in the wrong place. My hope, I really want. I suppose I could. No, don't do that, Ben. Don't open the front door until you've got this bridge hooked up. Like the task to connect the bridge is, I think, now officially underway. Oh no, it's not. It exists. I think it had got suspended, and I unsuspended it. We're still sorting out opening the inner drawbridge so that this group of dwarves around the one-way dwarf valve can get out more easily. So I think we mostly want to unpause for a bit, possibly witness the unhappiness out here. Yeah, they're going quite fast. That's also quite a lot of Are you guys just standing up repeatedly? Yes. That poor llama is probably being, yes, repeatedly shot. The manager is being chased down by two humans who apparently are able to run faster. What? Oh, what? Sorry, I've just seen some odd messages in my... Oh, I haven't started the game log, that's why. That's why that has messages that don't look familiar. One moment. This is of no use to most people. Well, no, probably most people on the stream can see this, but still. Yes, shut up, Harris. Right, that's better and also worse, because our manager has got somewhat injured. That's probably going to be quite bad for the manager unless we can distract the elves or the humans somehow. So I don't think our manager is military in any way. They have no weapon. I mean, we could stick them into a squad and say, fight back, but... I mean, or they could all just fall over. The human spearman charges at the human spearman. They tangle together and tumble forward. But yes, I fear that our manager will not survive this experience. Oh dear. What? Cancels link building to trigger item inaccessible. Which item? We haven't got the... Oh, of course, yes, the bridge is still inaccessible because we're still waiting for someone to actually open the inner drawbridge. Yes, okay. That's perfectly reasonable. Those elves have managed not to get run down by the minecart as well. I'm disappointed. Well, maybe the manager will be able to cause these other two to survive at least. Because yeah, that's not going to go well. Has someone pulled that lever yet? I think so, yes. So at some point soon, the inner drawbridge will open and we'll actually be able to get at the Barbican again. But not... soon enough for our poor manager. Oh, what's going on there? Blah blah blah. Oh, are you out the front of the? Are you at the main entrance? Right. Yes. Yes. Right. Someone has worked out how to aim their bolt thrower slightly upwards, and so the crossbow bolts are heading upwards towards this unhappy elf here. Who is thus getting repeatedly stabbed with crossbow bolts, unlike our manager who is getting repeatedly stabbed with wooden things. Though, like, a leather dress turns out to be pretty good for stopping people stabbing you with wooden spears. unlike troll fur, which is apparently reasonably not nearly so sturdy. The manager's troll fur trousers have been ripped to shreds. Oh dear. So yes, our manager is getting bruised and not much worse for the most part. It might take a while for them to die. This is probably the kind of an even worse bit of being mauled by elves is that, or those who are culturally elven, is how long it takes to kill you, because they keep stabbing you with ineffective weapons, but not quite ineffective enough. Yeah, the dwarves are desperately trying to work out how to get out of the Barbican, I think, which will become a lot easier once the inner drawbridge is opened. All right, the inner drawbridge is now open, so now we should unsuspend, if it's only been suspended, the task to link the. It looks like it's been cancelled. Right, let's reschedule it then. The task to link the lever to the wagon bridge. That is a very high priority. I think my dwarves are still leaping around confusingly in this area, but now they should be able to work out how to leave the one-way passage by sensible means, at least once they get around to doing a bit of repathing. Dear poor manager. Yes, I fear our manager is for it. The elves have all managed to avoid getting run down by minecarts. How very disappointing. It's meant to be an extremely high priority job, linking that building to that bridge, that lever. Would you mind actually doing it? Yes, I have scheduled all those bits of elf for dumping. We keep getting weird messages like the wrestler's left upper leg skids along the ground, but it is deflected by the wrestler's iron chain leggings. I think these are still the dwarves trying to jump and climb and such like out of the one-way dwarf filter, even though there are perfectly sensible ways out now that don't involve leaping around, I think. little bit worried about the nil lead's egg. All right, is still just running away. That's good. Keep running, Nil. Keep running. You're the same one who spent the entire Goblin last Undead Siege outdoors playing. I think it might be good if you played indoors in future.
It's no fun.
So someone is now linking the bridge to the right. Yes, our manager has succumbed to their wounds. Not entirely surprisingly. Rather curiously, everyone inside the fortress apparently knows this. I suppose that, yeah, two other dwarves outside have seen it happen.
They've all got mobile phones.
Apparently so. I can't believe Adil Cloisterscales is dead. I'm not uneasy. Right, so let's watch this bit of linking. We can do this at full speed, I think. I'm watching the combat log on my other screen. And then going, ooh, things are happening again. Right, is this someone being foolish enough as to be outside the in front of the bolt thrower? I'm not sure, but that's clearly a good thing from our point of view to happen to an elf. Slightly worried by cancels plant seeds. That's someone else out here, yes. Oh no, that's I think the same person. They just suddenly decided to plant some seeds. I'm a little worried by the way they're getting cornered on the edge of the map, though. This is the mechanic taking some mechanisms down to connect to the lever. Oh dear, our chief medical dwarf is now the next victim. Well, maybe Nil Lead's egg can escape again then. Oh, nasty. severed a motor nerve in our chief medical dwarf's left upper arm. Also, they've apparently found some more of our livestock. Here you can see a dead elf being thrown into the rubbish dump.
It's really edifying.
So yes, this is the mechanic who is... Oh, is that linked? Surely you didn't spend enough time working on that for that to be finished. Oh, okay. Does that mean we can pull the lever then? And also, indeed, open the front door. It's probably safe. We might want to close the inner drawer. Oh, do we want to finish tidying up? I think no. I think opening the front door is actually quite a high priority. So I think I should actually mark temporarily. Actually, it ought to get properly cancelled. They ought to. Yeah, we'll leave the inner. Since there's actually the confused dwarves should be able to find their way out, shouldn't they? I mean, they do seem to be suffering from more confusion than I would expect. Possibly because they're in military mode. What orders do they have? Oh, they have a stupid station order, don't they? That would explain why they're milling around in an unhelpful place. Let's tell the military dwarves to get their asses back. Get their asses back here. That should cause them not to mill around quite so much in unhelpful places. Right, I fear our chief medical dwarf is not going to survive very long. Dear, has something happened to Neil? No, Neil is still just running away. Right, I think the dwarves are now actually getting themselves out of the wrong place, which is nice. Good, yes. So I appreciate you would like to withdraw, but might be a bit tricky to arrange. Right, now we can, I think, close the inner drawbridge again and just leave the one-way valve. And that will help to ensure that dwarves don't randomly wander out again. No one has yet actually pulled any of the levers I asked to have pulled, you will realise. So people are organising themselves to do so, so that's kind of nice. Yes, our chief medical dwarf is rapidly running out of clothes.
It's a perfectly safe chief medical penguin.
Yeah, that seems like they've found someone else to shoot at. Yes. They still haven't managed to shoot Nil Ledzeg though. Possibly it's worth, I mean, I don't know if this is a sensible plan, but given where they are, let's set up another another bolt hole, and at the very least stick Nil Ledzeg in it, on the grounds that then, like, they might head in there. I think that's our former chief medical dwarf. Where is it? We'll find that planter in a bit. The problem, so Dizzyat asks, can you usefully place traps out in the wilds to alert you to elves and maybe delay some of them? Well, the problem is that I need to get them to tread on the traps, and traps are only one square in each direction. So, like, I try to have I tried to have war dogs stationed around here, but they hadn't actually got put back into place after the last siege. So yeah, it's going to be like, if we're going to build a large wall, we may as well not put gaps in it with traps in them, except that we can't go all the way up to the edge of the map. There's a gap around the edge of the map where we can't build, and we do want to let the caravans in. So yeah, we could engage in vast amounts of extra civil engineering. Possibly, I think we want to try to keep people indoors a bit more, with the possible exception of Nil Ledzeg, who seems completely irrepressible. Right, the front door is now open and also closed in the obviously correct fashion, which means that the elves should start considering coming into the fortress to be a good plan. It obviously isn't from their point of view, but they don't know that yet. It's just Nil Ledzeg continuing to decide that she must withdraw. Like, she's trying to play make-believe, but this keeps being foiled by reality. Oh. Has she been caught? That might be unfortunate. I mean, we have now opened the front door, so it's possible that the elves will get distracted by a sudden what looks like a target-rich environment, but I fear not. Yes, I fear Nil is not going to last long. Well, she has briefly managed to spot the that the chief medical dwarf has died. But she is also being stabbed to death by people with wooden spears. Oh, someone's come within range of the more of them. Someone has come within range of the... yeah, that's going to be fatal if it's soon, if it isn't already. Within range of the bolt throwers. I think this is another war tiger charging towards the... yes, Nilded's egg has died. Poor Nilded's egg. So yes, our bolt thrower operator is doing pretty well at killing those who are foolish enough as to attempt to maybe another fatality among those outside the front door. Among those foolish enough to attempt to cross the bridge. Like, most of the crossbow bolts miss, but there are an awful lot of crossbow bolts involved. Like, one moment while I reload. What? I think that's one of our... Yes, one of our siege operators has got killed. Presumably by being shot through the... What? I mean, I didn't see it happen, and I don't remember messages. I'll have to look through the history. We're going to need another siege operator then. Okay, it appears most of the humans are out there busy attacking one of our cows. Which, like, I mean, you could be distracted by that if you want. So are you currently reloading that thing? Not anymore. So they keep turning up, but we are also getting through a decent quantity of them on this drawbridge. Because, well, we can throw an awful lot of crossbow bolts at them. Is someone going to come to operate the catapult, even though it's apparently quite dangerous? Not yet, no. Oh, load catapult. Yes, someone is. Right. Oh, Tiziot has dug out of our logs. The spinning sharp limestone strikes the siege operator in the head. Oh dear. So, I wonder if they did something like missing the gap in the front of the fortress and hitting the wall next to them. And then the limestone rock exploded into little pieces and killed them because they weren't wearing adequate protective gear. Maybe we need these guys to be wearing better protection from the dangers of exploding limestone boulders. Right, we found the dead siege operator. And a human spearman is being unnerved by the fact that they've just killed a calf. Do we have someone making more crossbow bolts, please? We've only got 200 left up here.
It takes you about 3 nanoseconds to get rid of them.
Yes. We at least have a task scheduled for it, even if no one's actually doing it, which is as good as we can manage, really. I mean, it is a pretty effective way of killing anyone who tries to cross that bridge. Yes, you're just, are you that one? I suspect. Bafiche, yes, who's feeling very sick on the drawbridge, is basically being assisted by the fact that the bolt thrower apparently can't be used to shoot people who are lying down or something. It still has 52 bolts in it. I think they're actually being reasonably, that our militia captain is being reasonably parsimonious with the crossbow bolts. And just leaving elves bleeding out on the drawbridge. Maybe we should quickly close and reopen the drawbridge in order to throw them all into the moat. I suppose we could swap which drawbridge is down in order to throw them all into the moat so that we don't actually close the entrance. An animal has grown to become a stray dog. That's nice. Slightly worried about that interrupted by War Tiger, but I think it was someone getting too close to the front door. What was I going to do? I had a thing I wanted to do and I've completely forgotten it. Dizzy, it says, surely dead elves on the way the elves are using to get in is good because it demoralises the elves. Yes, this is true. I mean, to an extent, we don't want to demoralise them too much. We would like them to continue enthusiastically trying to enter the fortress by this route. Yes, it's more that like, if that especially if they can't be shot by the bolt thrower, it might be good for them to be killed by other means. That was an awful lot of crossbow bolts. I mean, there did seem to be quite a lot of death as well, so I'm not going to argue very much. As far as I can see, no one has actually made it into the weapon traps yet. They're going to get in once we run out of crossbow bolts. Yes, there we go. A war tiger has nipped across the bridge while the bolt thrower is being reloaded. Indeed, 2 of them have, I think. Here's one. Which one is that? That's the war tiger Parry. Who jumped away from a weapon trap. And another one. One of them will get you eventually. I know how these weapon traps work. And once they start, they don't stop. So yes, that war tiger will probably not get much further. Indeed, has just been killed. Right, good. Where's the next one? Right, here's a human coming in. I thought we had another tiger. Can't see one though. Oh, this human seems to have decided that this is not the way they want to go. They successfully dodged all of the traps and are now leaving the fortress again, only to find that someone is firing zillions of crossbow bolts across the main entrance. They won't actually be firing them for much longer, you know, but you possibly made a mistake there. Because having dodged things quite a lot, you have managed to get yourself beaten up vigorously by the weapon traps. And yes, our bolt thrower is continuing to be quite effective. Albeit running out of crossbow bolts. Bolts nearby and available 22. We are trying to make more. But here we've loaded the catapult. I think that catapult shot missed entirely, but here comes a new victim for the traps. Oh, you're doing pretty well. You got injured, but you did manage to run away. You can see again the moderate uselessness of wooden weapons, even when installed in excellent dwarven weapon traps. Dizzy, it says, are there supposed to be elf swords pods in your bins? Yes, the bins in question are these ones. So they're the ones where crossbow bolts waiting to be fired are stored, but people delivering crossbow bolts to them will often get scared off by seeing the elves outside the front door. This is kind of okay, because when they get scared off, they drop the crossbow bolts in approximately the right place anyway. So, like, this does actually keep us supplied with crossbow bolts, if we're lucky. Oh yes, the problem is that then someone comes along to try to collect those crossbow bolts and put them in the correct place, and finds that they get scared off again. So it's like a little bit inefficient. More! We do not actually need more elves. I mean, we're disposing of them, but there are a truly ludicrous number of them. I am a little worried that our weapon traps will, like, all be so clogged up with dead elf.
Catapults. Did the thing again.
Oh, right. Yes, I think Dizzy says your catapult is a menace to its operator. Yes, I agree. Let's turn it off. It didn't have this problem before when this square was transparent. I think I have a kind of idea. This catapult was erected aiming northwest, so technically through that square. And I think the problem is that while it can aim slightly to the left and indeed slightly to the right of its natural aim, the problem is that it can aim northwestwards and frequently does. And I think thus we need to adjust things so that its natural aiming direction is actually a direction it can safely shoot in. Also, we need to get better protective gear for our for the syrups of starting. I mean, I think they officially have reasonable equipment, but none of them are wearing it, probably because their configuration, their orders are wrong. Yes, I think we want them in ready, which should keep them properly dressed or something like that. Yes. You do not need to reload it. Right, good, yes. You're now going to go to the hospital, aren't you? I mean, I think we have no live dwarves outside anyway. So if the traps start failing, we'll just close the front door. Yes, one of our cats has apparently died. That's not the big problem. Let's just check that we are still scheduled to forge. Right, okay, yes, I set the bolt forging job to just make as many crossbow bolts as you can. Yeah, cancelling pickup equipment dangerous terrain is people trying to leave through the one-way dwarf valve and it stopping them, which, like, ideally wouldn't happen. Oh dear, oh no, that's the other dead. That's the dead siege operator, not the merely injured siege operator. Right, some more elves charging in. and charging back out again, which would be great if we had someone operating any of the siege engines. I mean, possibly, if I think now we've lost everyone who was outdoors, we should have a brief phase of, like, tidying up, making a few more crossbow bolts. And then reopening the front door, because that will probably cause fewer job cancellations as people try to pick things up that they shouldn't be picking up. Oh, hang on. Yes, I know what I've done. Yes. I think we can make this less of a problem because I, for reasons, made the Barbican part of the area you were allowed to try to go to. And that is no longer a sensible thing to do. So if I do that, then dwarves should probably stop trying to pick up the stuff that's in that's in or on the edge of the Barbican. In particular, they might be trying to pick up. They shouldn't be trying to pick up anything from that square because that square is forbidden. That tiger head should be taken away and butchered. Oh yes, are the tigers getting butchered? I should confirm that. Looks like it, yes, good. Because tiger parts are valuable. Well, some of them are. Cartilage and nervous tissue less so.
Maybe you can use it to mix stuff.
Right, so that should stop the dwarves getting distracted by trying to retrieve items from somewhere they shouldn't be trying to retrieve items from. I think. I'm a little worried that everything is turning into slugs. Let me just check on the how much free memory we have situation. How much of it is being eaten by... Oh! How much of it is being eaten by something completely not relevant, but I don't think that's actually the thing that's consuming all the memory. But yes, there is some Steam component that is lying around because I was playing CK2 this morning.
That many gigabytes of virtual memory, but none of it resident, might just be ridiculous address space for some purpose that's mostly theoretical.
Yes, unlike X Wayland, which actually doesn't seem to be doesn't seem to be very ill, but we are slowly running out of swap. We'll wait a bit longer. I don't think we're about to be killed. So someone is topping up the bins up here, I think. Yes, sorry, there's lots of lovely kaolinite outside. Right, here's a human coming in to visit our traps and deciding to go out again. Some migrants have arrived. Well, we better leave the front door open then. All being well... Where did you get stunned? I don't know. Yes, yes, the problem is because this is not officially a siege. The migrants can arrive here without, even though it's still going on. Which is perhaps not wholly wise. Yes, it is so great when everyone can get along, but unfortunately some of them are elves. I'm just thinking I should make a meeting area in here. So that the new arrivals might be able to hide in there if they feel like it. Or not. Apparently, I see here an arrow heading towards our new arrival the moment that she turns up. Right, well, welcome to Filled Tombs. There's a reason it's called that. Well, you have at least managed to properly get yourself stuck on that weapon trap. Oh, you've brought a tiger. There's another elf in here, is there? Right, let's see how they're getting on. As yet uninjured, I think, but... Oh, well escaped, sir, madam. I think you might have left your tiger behind, though. Well, I mean, the corpse of your tiger behind, anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, even if it's valuable, you might value your life when you hide it. Although, I mean, you know, wolves, anything could happen.
This elf appears to have done the sensible thing of passing out on the weapon trap in such a way that they aren't triggering it anymore. I don't quite understand how they've done that. Oh, because there's a tiger corpse stuck in that weapon trap. And a consequence of this is that they may actually survive for a while until they regain consciousness. No, I'm afraid we can't reuse the tigers. It's impossible to retrain them properly. They remain loyal to their own...
Their previous owners.
Yes. Right, there are now immigrants milling around all over the dead forest. Most of them occasionally getting shot and terrified. If you guys can come up to the main entrance, you should have received as part of your induction pack a list of the locations of the traps so that you can step over them all and get in. On the other hand, the enormous crowd of elves at the main gate may be a little bit more of a problem. The way the elves at the main gate turn around and flee is also a bit of a problem. Seb says, do you have greeters at the edge of the map? No, we don't, but somehow I think even new arrivals know where the weapon traps are and can avoid them. Or the weapon traps know who they are. I'm not quite sure which. Is anyone actually going to operate that bolt thrower? Like, if you're not, okay, someone is good. I was going to say, if you're not, then I'll assign more people to the task, even though they probably won't do it very well. Yeah, you're just going at normal civilian speed to the entrance. Meanwhile, our new arrivals are not having fun out there. Like, you know, you did turn up during an elven ambush. I mean, I might be able to make things better for this kind of circumstance, but it's pretty difficult. At least you're not afraid. Well, actually, you might be a friend of some of our new arrivals if some of the new arrivals can survive. Right, this is a target-rich environment. I mean, like the dead woods are for the elves. Admittedly, you're going to have to load the bolt thrower first. What? Where did you go? There was a bolt thrower to be loaded there. Did you just randomly cancel the load bolt thrower job? Because that's not helpful. Oh, what's our weaponsmith situation is such that we should add another weaponsmith, isn't it? Because we do have a second legendary weaponsmith. It should help with the crossbow bolt production. And possibly right now we should just add a third or fourth. Just to keep the production going. Okay, you're also a miner. Let's not put you in there as well. Oh right, our legendary weaponsmith is also a militia captain and is thus busy. Yes, that's an unfortunate piece of organisation, Ben. Don't do it like that. That won't help. So is someone actually going to load this bolt thrower? Not right now. No, they've got distracted. What? How many siege operators have we got left? We have still got 3 who are alive. There is certainly an argument that 3 is not quite enough when one of them's in hospital. Let's pick a random unassigned peasant. They won't be much good at it, but they can at least go out there and throw bolts. Oh dear, yes, all of my visitors are having a bad time. I mean, to be fair, so are the elven visitors. In that, like, they are admittedly killing a lot of the immigrants, but they're also frequently doing that. Okay, you actually survived that. More of them have turned up. And apparently this human swordsman has actually doing a pretty decent job of dodging all of those. Wow. Like, that is an impressive selection of not being hit by anything. But you do have to keep being that lucky. Right, so are you actually going to load the bolt thrower this time? Did you just decide not to do that because it was too scary up there? You're a siege operator. You're meant to be able to cope with this. I mean, like, the traps will do it eventually, but the bolt thrower is much more effective. Yeah, our immigrants are slowly being slaughtered. Those are both immigrants. We're going to have so many burials to do at the end of this. Yeah, let's see what the bolt forging is doing. Still no one working on it. That's annoying. Partly because one of our weaponsmiths is busy processing plants instead.
Mute stream.
I think the invaders are a bit scared of the traps. I think they're beginning to understand that the large quantity of dead elves and humans down there might possibly be in some way relevant. I'm wondering if I should just quickly open and close that drawbridge for hurling people in the air amusement value. And like, that will then lock them inside and they won't be able to run away. And if we have to, we can send in some dwarves to kill them. I'm not optimistic about our new arrivals actually being able to make it to the fortress. Only one of them seems to be alive. I think, oh no, there's another one. Two of them seem to be alive. They're both very unhappy. What? We have a message that says somebody is fighting. Doesn't seem to appear in this list though. Right, what time is it? It's 11:30. I'm looking at the amount of available swap on my computer and going, that's a worryingly small amount. So I'm going to do the brief save, restart, and then come back again maneuver. And then we'll see what we can make happen. So yeah, I think possibly I close the outer drawbridge briefly on the grounds that it doesn't seem to be the immigrants don't seem to be able to get in anyway. We clearly need a better plan for getting immigrants inside, and I don't know what that is yet. Oops, wrong button. Right, we now have a bit more spare memory. What's the button I want? It's that one. Hello again, Dwarf Fortress. So, I mean, he says that and then discovers he can't change desktop. Oh, well, it'll be fine. So then, yes, if we close that, that might, well, I mean, if nothing else, if we're really lucky, it'll hurl those 10 or so invaders in the air, and then drop them on the spikes, which would at least be amusing. Pygmy says, how is the enemy-friendly kill ratio of this catapult? This siege, I'm not sure it's killed any enemies, and it's killed one friendly and severely injured one. Past sieges, it's not been bad, but it's been nowhere near as effective as the bolt thrower, at least against things that are susceptible to bolts like elves. Yes, essentially the bolt thrower is good against living things. The catapult is better against the undead, I think. Though the bolt thrower is pretty effective against the undead just because through the sheer number of bolts it can throw at them, if you have any bolts, which we don't. Right, yes, let's close the outer drawbridge for now. I apologise to the 2 surviving immigrants who will be briefly locked out, but the drawbridge does have a large number of enemies blocking it, and we would, if nothing else, like to encourage them onto the traps. Oops, I didn't mean to do that while unpaused. Okay, I think that's now every one of our visitors. I wonder if somebody means this person never actually did anything significant enough to get them recorded in history, and so now that they're dead, we're not going to worry about them. Though we are still going to have to, like, bury them. Now, we do still have one new arrival who is alive and probably quite terrified. Yes. All right, yes, those crossbow bolts were just crossbow bolts being thrown around by the closing of the drawbridge. So there's now a bunch of elves who can't get out, and some humans. So all being well, they will now come and say hello to all of our lovely weapon traps downstairs. I mean, possibly they will just stand just inside the entrance looking confused. Right, we're now making more crossbow bolts. Excellent. They're slowly spreading out. Oh, they're advancing. Right, let's look down at this layer and see if they arrive. Oh, they're going for the approach of that if all of them step on the weapon trap at once, then at most one of them will get hit, taking advantage of the refractory time of weapon traps or something. They are really quite uncertain about this. Possibly we should set up some tombs indoors, but because there is someone who's died inside the fortress, isn't there? Yes. So actually, if someone's trying to collect their body, presumably they think that they can be buried. So are you guys actually going to like come down the stairs and hit the traps? Or am I going to have to send someone out there to get you? Right, that's the last of the immigrants. They're getting close. Oh, they've almost reached the traps. Like initially, they are just going to get missed repeatedly. This is, I think, in the nature of weapon traps. Weapon traps rely on numbers. But like eventually they get through. And once they do get through, an injured elf is a lot less good at dodging them. Ah, right, we are shooting people again, apparently. Oh yes, look at that. Quick spray of bolts until we ran out of bolts. None of them hit. Okay, that elf swordsman is surviving pretty well for someone who's actually been hit by a weapon trap. They are advancing a fair distance through here. Like we may actually have to kill some of these. Some of them have got hurt. And like, yeah, once they start hitting, they usually keep going. No one has yet made it to our side of the weapon traps. I think they mostly retreated. Look, some of you got almost all the way in. I keep being confused by that you. Oh, someone has made it through the weapon traps. Don't worry, there's probably 10 dwarves waiting for you on the other side of this with big axes. Pay no attention to the fact that when you stepped on that pressure plate, the floor behind you vanished. That's perfectly normal. Hello. A large number of seriously pissed off dwarves have just spotted you. Well, you can try running. Okay, a large number of pissed off and very thirsty dwarves, which I might want to do something about. Just to be on the safe side, let's explicitly instruct them to get yourselves into the hospital and kill this elf. Yeah, I think the various invaders down here are now starting to have a worse day. This elf swordsman has successfully made it through all of the traps without being hit by any of them, which clearly means we need to build more and better traps. And he's attacking this poor child who was playing in the hospital. The child very sensibly runs away towards the advancing dwarven army. If the dwarven army doesn't advance fast enough, then the elf will fall into a cage trap. Well, the elf is doing quite well at dodging so far. Who is that? Who are they? Fafiche something or other. And indeed has injured one of our wrestlers. Bah! Well, I'm afraid you're now going to get mobbed by every other dwarf in the fortress. Oh, look. That was quite an effective attack. Hello, I have hit you in the head sideways with my battle axe so hard that I've broken your neck. Yes, our slightly successful elven invader is now having a very, very bad day. Yes. So I was just a bit confused by the messages, but yes, that does all match up with what I'm seeing elsewhere. So, like, really, she ought to be beheaded pretty quickly. I think they're just toying with her now. How is Vafiche getting on? They're just taunting now, punching her. Like, surely you could just kill her. You don't actually have to keep chopping bits off. All right, she's passed out now. They should actually be able to get an accurate hit in. There we go. Right. Poor Vavice has now been put out of her misery. Having had her head comprehensively splatted. Let's just suggest that she should probably be placed in the Atom Smasher. Right. Anyone else going to come through the traps? Anyone else still alive down here? Yes, yes, a couple of them. There are 2 human swordsmen still alive down there. Oh, and here comes another elf. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I think they died too. I think we're now down to 0 alive. Elves in the Barbican. So I think it's currently not a very high priority to open the front door and let another batch of elves in. So I'm a bit tempted to release our military, clear up the Barbican a bit, refill the traps down there, let the military go off and get drunk, and then come back and have another go. So that means front door is closed, so we can pull the lever to open the inner drawbridge. Once that's open, reclaim everything in the we can immediately reclaim all the stuff that Vafice brought in. Yeah, so that's the entire squad heading down to the pub, grabbing a mug, getting themselves a drink. The inner drawbridge is now open, so now we can turn off there's actually no one alive assigned to that place. Turn off the main indoor burrow, reclaim every item in the Barbican, mark a bunch of items for dumping, namely the various dead elves we can find. Obviously tigers get butchered and turned into food. I've probably overlooked some corpses. I think many of the corpses need to be extracted from the traps. So that bolt thrower now has at least some bolts in it, and can be operated in due course. Oh look. Well done, you've managed to find someone to shoot at already. So I think there's a bunch of, you have a lot of place item in tomb jobs, which are probably applying to tombs we can't reach. That's kind of annoying. Yeah, so a lot of people are now removing the dead from the weapon traps, which is a critical part of recovering from sieges. Also, apparently, just cleaning the blood off the walls in general, which, like, I can understand. Actually, it would have made my life much simpler if I had waited for the weapon traps to be cleaned and then gone around and found all the corpses and marked them for dumping. Because as it is, a bunch of additional corpses have fallen out, but because dumping is a lower priority than cleaning traps for obvious reasons, there's still all the other ones still lying around and marked for dumping that I have to go, yes, okay, that one's already marked. Actually, they've picked up most of the dead one, most of those. That seemed fairly effective. You're not satisfied at having improved siege operation. Well, sorry, I can't help you with that. That at least is all of the dead elves extracted. We are busy butchering tigers. Oh, we need to appoint a new manager, don't we? Because our last manager got killed. There we go. And assign them the manager's office. That should help with getting more jobs scheduled. Out of crossbow bolts again. Right, so yes, there's still some weapon trap maintenance going on because we have at least some arrows that can be put into weapon traps. Because dwarves don't like using bows, but they can totally make weapon traps out of them. So this dwarf is going to find a bunch of arrows that people have brought with them and stuff them into the weapon trap one at a time. That's really not an efficient way to load weapon traps. I see you have found someone else to shoot at. So yes, putting bows in weapon traps appears to be a bit inefficient as far as loading them is concerned, because rather than, as you can with a bolt thrower, being able to just stuff an entire pile of projectiles in there, you instead have to put each arrow in separately, which is a bit of a nuisance. You're just ill now, aren't you, after you got shot? Yes. Right, so I think we've now got this area. I mean, there's still a phenomenal amount of stuff in there, but we've got it kind of, we've cleaned all the weapon traps. The weapon traps will now work again. Something rotting here. Oh, right, let's just trash that rotten tiger head. I think this suggests that we haven't got the stockpiles quite correctly configured. We are butchering tigers as fast as we can. Do we actually have any furniture? Yes, we have furniture that can be decorated with tiger bone. At least eventually. Though we don't actually appear to have any bone in the correct stockpile, which is a bit odd. Possibly we need, is it actually set up to take from that stockpile? It is. Can we have a bin? Can we allow bins in this stockpile? Because that seems like it ought to be a sensible plan. Right, so I think we've got the traps back into a sensible state, so we can now re-enable the main burrow and close the inner drawbridge, whose primary purpose is actually to stop the dwarves leaving through it, and then lower the outer drawbridge and let the next batch of elves in. Except there's a child playing in the barbican. Let's not lower the outer drawbridge just yet. They're still turning up. Now the Barbican's full of puppies. Right, I'm going to open the outer drawbridge anyway, and the puppies can take their chances. You're just ill, aren't you? Yes. I'd like to have more crossbow bolts, but I think we're going to have to rely on the weapon traps a bit. Well, that was a rapid death. Karakavara thingamy. I mean, that was quite a few crossbow bolts, but unlike their neighbour here, who actually managed to absorb. I don't know if they absorbed many. Yes, they did, but didn't manage to end up being killed by them. What is one of my stray dogs doing out here? I'm slightly worried by that. Also, I think the stray dog may be winning. Okay, all the dogs have decided to come out and play. Right, if you're sensible and you stay within range of the bolt thrower, you might not do badly. Here we find a human spearman who has oh right, who has dodged the dog attack and hence fallen down into the moat quite painfully. And here we have an elf swordsman who has fallen down into the moat and landed on some spikes. It's a badger. Sorry, someone has just presented me with a badger. There appears to be an enormous battle going on here involving dogs and bolt throwers, and the dog has now finally been killed by the elves, but not until after causing a fairly serious amount of trouble. And conveniently delaying everyone neatly within range of a bolt thrower. I'm just going, surely you've killed more than that, but maybe these kills mostly don't count. So two enemies have attempted to get in and are going to say hello to the traps. We're running out of crossbow bolts here, but we do seem to have a few more to load that with. Where's that elf got to? I'm slightly limited by the amount of miasma here, which is obviously going to be upsetting the elves as well. So we have a seriously injured human swordsman here who has had an unfortunate... Actually, he hasn't yet had an unfortunate encounter with a weapon trap. They've just had an unfortunate encounter with the... Oh, there's a dead elf, right, good. With the crossbow bolts outside. So then we're getting seriously injured dwarves, or elves, sorry, coming in and stumbling into the weapon traps. I think we should probably summon the military again. I expect they've managed to get themselves slightly drunk by now. Just in case anyone actually makes it through. Like, a fairly large number of them have not. But like this one has taken the sensible route round the edge. And like, apart from having a broken leg, is doing all right. Oh, I picked the right person to follow. You've managed to hit one of my dwarves. The axe dwarf appeared to have turned up and not actually brought an axe, which would explain why this is perhaps not going as well as we might hope. Can I just confirm that the human spearman in question hasn't actually got a spear? Right, yes. Oh, no, they still have a citron wood spear. So in theory, they might actually be able to cause some damage. They are, of course, being slowly pushed back towards the weapon traps. I'll have a look in a moment. Oh, you actually managed to use your spear. That's a bit scary. I'm a bit worried about this fight. Like, if you could disarm this spear dwarf, I would be a lot happier. Spearman, rather. Okay, or you could do that, yes, yes. Just kick the human spearmen in the chest so hard that they die. Well, I mean, technically they're not dead yet, but... yeah, that'll do. Right, let's just check that no one else snuck in while we were doing that. So you're the one we just saw pass out, and who is now about to get slaughtered by this bizarrely unarmed axe dwarf. Unarmed, naked axe dwarf who has just come out here and kicked you in the chest so hard you stabbed yourself in the heart with one of your own ribs. I mean, admittedly, it might take a while now. I think you're just going to have to bleed out while this axe dwarf repeatedly punches you in the head. Yeah, I'm just noticing some other messages that I don't like. Particularly regarding a gem cutter. Where is this happening? Oh, what are you doing out there? Well, that's bad. Yeah, don't be out there. It's going to be very bad for you. I recommend you come back into the fortress. Seb says, philosophically speaking, are you really an axe dwarf if you don't have an axe? Axe dwarfing is indeed not so much a state of mind as a question of how good you are at it. Right, the human who got in here has now bled out. All being well, the dwarves will now go back to where they're meant to be and possibly put some clothes on. Oh yes, we do have... although, no, I think those are all... well, apart from that one, which is our confused gem cutter, yeah, I think those are all just people having difficulty storing things, which is fine. Bolt thrower has 84 bolts in. So how are the enemies list looking? We're getting them reduced. I think we're getting close to the point where I could send squads out to finish off the rest. I suppose the question is, do I do it now in order to try to save that gem cutter? I think that gem cutter's doomed, though. So I think I'm going to unpause and see if anyone else moves towards the fortress. I think I should clear that list. And then see what's actually happening. Yes. Yeah. I don't know how that gem gutter ended up out there. I mean, there do appear to be a bunch of dwarves trying to leave. And a kitten, yes. A cat trying to leave through the Barbican. So I'm slightly wondering about making that official, but no, I think I'd prefer not to. Right, they're going back indoors, good. It's as it should be. What the cat does is up to the cat. That's just, yeah. I think we're getting a lot of people standing up because they happen to be in the wrong place. Possibly I should work out whether I can turn that message off. Right, now, invaders, the front door is still open. You can probably path into it. Oh, is there there's something rotting here, or is this all just coming in from that rotting tiger head? I think it is just the rotting tiger head. What? What did you just do? I think something stupid in the one-way valve system. Please don't. Now you're going to have to go to hospital in order to get your... Oh no, you're only bruised, you'll be fine. Right, we can see here... no, okay, it's not. I thought it might be a quant... There are actually a fair number of random stacks of bolts in this corridor waiting to be hauled in to refuel the bolt thrower. The bolt thrower now has hundreds of bolts available. So I think the only question is, oh, I was going to say, are the invaders coming? But they're not. They've all gone away. Right. That's the end of the siege then. Right. Where's my end of siege checklist? So the siege operators should be despecialised. These siege engines should be switched to load but do not fire. We should also do something about this one to make it less dangerous. This siege engine should be set into practice mode. As indeed should the lower siege engines, not that that matters very much. Well, not into practice mode, those should be set into load mode. The main burrow, if unpaused, should be paused. Insofar as it's of any use, given that probably everyone assigned to it is dead, we should unpause that pasture. And unpause the dog pen. We should possibly also assign some, well, probably train some war dogs, if we have any dogs, and assign them to it, but not now. The Barbican Wagon Bridge should be extended in order to hide the dead humans and elves from the dwarves who might want to cross it. The inner drawbridge should be retracted. I think it already is, but we can check. No, it's not. Retract. Any surface mining should be switched back to standard. I don't think there is any. And the bolt holes should be checked and made empty and locked if we can, but I don't think we can at the moment. Rather amusingly, there doesn't appear to be any instruction for the outer drawbridge, which we should probably add to this. Because I think we should also lower both parts of the outer drawbridge. Right. So then we also want to, and this is not really part of this, part of directly post siege, reclaim all of the objects in there. I'm not going to mark elf and human corpses for dumping right now, because I think we first want to clean all of the traps so as to get all the corpses out of them. And only then attempt to dump the corpses, because then we'll be able to actually find all the corpses. So is that corpse? Yes, scheduled for burial. Good. What are you doing there? Why are you climbing out of the fortress rather than taking a sensible route? Right, so now the dwarves can walk over all of the traps without needing to experience the full horrors of being in among them. So yes, we have a bunch of people doing clean trap jobs. Until the clean trap jobs are finished, we will not try to dispose of any corpses from them. What am I doing? Oh yes, I was just going to check. How are you feeling? Okay, yes, you've managed to get somewhat injured by... Oh yes, you were the one who turned up naked and started punching a spearman. Yes, well done. I mean, you killed them, so I can't really complain about the results. Right, so... there are still some traps being cleaned down there. One trap still to be cleaned. And then we can, once the traps are all cleaned, then we can start tidying up a bit. It's still being cleaned. I can follow the person who's cleaning it. Right. So now there are, I think, no traps to clean, in that there are no, while there are people still trying to load the weapon traps, there's no one trying to load the, no one trying to clean any traps. So now all of the corpses down here are visible and can be dumped. Off a thingamy. Two corpses in this square. I think a good thing about maces is that they do tend to leave you with single corpses rather than enormous piles of bits. I suppose I could actually do this through the stocks menu, couldn't I? I could just say, where have we got corpses, and do their names look like elven ones? Right, I think that's all the dead elves in the traps marked for disposal, which are the, or elves and humans, which are the highest priorities because they will rot smellily. So people should now turn up. Oh, you're loading those bows with arrows, aren't you? Should now turn up and dump all of those items. No one is actually doing the dump item tasks though. The rubbish dump is active, isn't it? Yes. Well, I'm sure they'll get around to it in due course. And yes, I will admit that burials are a higher priority. And I can kind of see why loading weapon traps might be a high priority. So does this work? Do we end up with bins full of, not sure, bones? Like, that's what I think should happen. But possibly bones can't be put in bins. So yes, we have some bins full of nice quantities of bolts there, which is helpful. Ready for the next event. Look, you should start tidying up now. Things are starting to rot down here. But the great advantage of this, oh no, everyone gets to encounter the miasma as it wafts up there. Bah. I mean, again, well, butchering the tigers should be a higher priority than disposing of the elves, because it doesn't really matter if the elves rot. It just makes people slightly unhappy. Whereas, what? I thought all the traps had been cleaned. I mean, you are admittedly greatly enjoying the traps. I suppose you are a mechanic. What can we expect, really? Still getting more incoming tiger corpses. We are going to have so much tiger meat in this place. Nervous tissue at least rots, so it's worth disposing of it early. Good. Dead elves are starting to be thrown into the rubbish disposal system. I do hope people like tiger meat. We're going to be able to make tiger soap. I mean, we should really make tiger rolls, but I don't think we know how to do that. Oh, that's another tiger dealt with. And we're going to have tiger leather, aren't we? That'll be nice. Right, I was just checking we have enough space for storing prepared meals, as long as we can make adequate prepared meals. That there's a rotten corpse there that's not marked for dumping. Let's deal with that. sure what's going on with this corpse. Dump that one. Is it going to get dumped yet? Something weird going on? Right, that one's getting dumped. Why is this one not? Maybe I need to turn off its dumpingness and turn it on again. What is it about this corpse that makes it not tempting to dump? I mean, the miasma is at least mostly from dead elves. Well, and this dead human that, oh good, right, finally actually scheduled for dumping. Right, so now I think we should start disposing of the outdoor corpses. That's all the ones on the bridge marked. Also, we should erect more spikes. Those seem to have been fairly effective. Probably add some extra weapon traps in here. Let's find our highest quality mechanisms and then look for things that are particularly inappropriate for dwarves to be wielding. We could stuff it entirely with bows, I suppose. Right, that's the last corpse removed from the Barbican. Okay, no, we've already dealt with that. So, yes, let us do now up to 1 square away from the bridge. possibly now I should deal with things by doing things from the stocks list instead. Though also possibly there aren't that many dead elves lying around out here. Like, there won't be many that are very far from the entrance, because that's one of the zombies we didn't dispose of before, because we didn't have a way of attacking them very far from the entrance. Oh, except for, of course, all the ones down here. Yes, there's them. What? Where's that miasma coming from? I mean, what? There appears to be a dead elf down here. Okay, I think possibly Diziot's hypothesis that there was an elf swordsman somewhere in the fortress was actually correct. Don't know how they got there, but oh, and there's another rotten corpse that needs disposing of. You can see a lot of dwarves running around carrying crossbow bolts, I think, as they collect up all of the used crossbow bolts and bring them back. So that they're ready to be used again. Oh, spring has arrived. Right, well, maybe that's the point at which to save, just in case anyone, well, I mean, we're saving anyway, at which to save and stop on the grounds that it's probably, I mean, A, it's almost 1 in the morning, which is obviously a good time to stop, well, at least the second best time to stop, and B, now's the point when another invasion can arrive. Oh, one more thing we should do, though. Release the military. Hello, release, right. Because yes, spring has arrived. And who knows what the consequences of the arrival of spring will be. People are still hauling crossbow bolts around, which is good because that bolt thrower was very effective, as were the weapon traps, to be fair. Like, the weapon traps have the advantage that they are always working. They don't need someone to be with them, but they're not. They are not quite as reliable, I don't think, as the bolt thrower. And you need an awful lot of them to do anything. So yes, I think they both work quite well together. In particular, the elves are less dubious about getting close to the bolt thrower, it looks like. So that's good. Like they seem to be quite hesitant about getting into the fortress, but they're quite happy to stand on a drawbridge straight in front of a bolt thrower and get stabbed with crossbow bolts repeatedly. So anyway, that'll be all for tonight, and I'll probably be back on Friday. Until then, good night.